Shalom. I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh Bahashem, Yahweh Shai Bahashem, Rakak Wadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone rule well. Peace and salutations to the elect, and much respect to the brothers pushing this word in the four winds of the earth. And shalom to you few sincere sisters out there as well. It's Brother Ariyah coming at you with another edition of The Love of Many Shall Wax Cold. And I want to bring out a couple of articles I came across. And it says a Phoenix mother arrested for allegedly murdering daughter on Christmas Eve, dumping her body in a dumpster. And it says a Phoenix mother was arrested for murder after her daughter was found dead in a dumpster on Christmas Eve. Sophia Simmons, 38, was busted after cops received the tip that she had placed her daughter's body in a dumpster after the child was allegedly brutally beaten and died. A witness who lives in New York allegedly received a phone call from Simmons on Christmas Day and claimed the mother had confessed to having beaten her child and it went too far. And it says the girl was not named and is believed to be between 5 and 7 years old. She was found on Sunday around 8 p.m. inside the dumpster in a storage container. A witness had gone into the dumpster in search of firewood when they noticed the container's lid was not properly on. When they looked inside, they found the child's body and told a nearby security guard who called the police. And this spirit was out there, that Christmas spirit. Look at this nigga here. That's the mother right there looking like Celie. You told Harpo to beat me? She's through, man. These people out here are finished, Kill her 5, that's just judgment from the Lord, man. That's all that is. I got another one here, which is it says Brooklyn woman died in front of her daughter on Christmas Day. And it's not even, law doesn't go into specifics because they still have to find out how she died, but she was found unconscious and pronounced dead at the scene. Man, she died, her daughter woke up on Christmas Day and found her mother lying motionless on the floor, man. So judgment is definitely going out. And we got another one. This is pure comedy here. Florida woman accused of hitting boyfriend multiple times with a Christmas tree during an argument. She got locked up for it. I'm not going to read it, but this is just this comedy right here, man. Jake is through, man. Jake is finished. She probably, caught him messing with another chick or something like that. Whatever. Who knows what happened? But it's been a lot of Christmas judgment, man. And the Christmas spirit is gone, man, which is a beautiful thing. You're seeing a lot of occurrences like this happen, over this whack ass holiday, and it's good to see. It's a good thing to see, man. That things are taking a turn for the worse, for these people out here that just live or seek to live in comfortability out here. Soon all the mirth of this land is going to be gone.
People were killed, 3 more injured in that crash that happened along Highway 67 near Cleburne this afternoon. Video from Sky 4 shows a pickup truck with heavy front-end damage and a minivan with significant front-end damage on Highway 67 right at County Road 1119 about rush hour this evening. This area is just southwest of Cleburne, about 45 miles outside of Fort Worth. The Johnson County Sheriff's Office shut down Highway 67. We're still working to see what led to that crash. Though it does appear to have been a head-on, we don't have any information from the Sheriff's Department about victims of the crash at this time. Please stay with Fox 4. We'll get more information. We'll give it right along to you.
Police are 2 gunmen who shot up a car late last night. The female passenger in that car died, but the driver managed to drive the bullet-riddled car to a police precinct for help. Eyewitness News reporter Lindsay Tuckman is live in Richmond Hill, Queens, The very latest. Lindsay, what do we know at this hour?
Shantae, police have identified the woman who died as Clarissa Burgos of Borum Hill, Brooklyn, and now the investigation turns to why she was killed late last night. We're here on the scene now, which has since been cleared since the shooting happened. It's the corner of 127th Street and Liberty Avenue in the Richmond Hill section of Queens. It's here where police recovered shell casings from 2 different guns. According to the NYPD, it happened just before midnight yesterday, and officials say at least 2 shooters allegedly opened fire at the victim's car, shooting at them at least 16 times. The driver, a 39-year-old man, was shot multiple times in the chest, and a 28-year-old Burgos was shot in the head. Police say after they were shot, the driver drove from the scene here all the way to the 103rd Police Precinct Station House. That's about 2.5 miles away from here, and told officers what happened and that they needed help. And that's when Burgos was pronounced dead. We spoke with people in the neighborhood who were just absolutely shocked to hear what happened.
I'm really surprised because we've never heard of these things over here in this area. So it is, I've been here for like how many, 25, 26 years. Never heard of all this here.
Scared because I live here like 40-something years, and none of this never happened in the neighborhood. But it's getting bad.
Well, as for the driver, he is expected to be okay. He was brought to the hospital, and police will eventually be interviewing him in an attempt to find out why this shooting occurred. Officials do say that he has 29 prior arrests and preliminarily believe he may have been the intended target, whereas Burgos, the woman who died, police say was likely not the intended target. No arrests have been made, and the investigation is ongoing.
And this afternoon, police are investigating a shooting in Queens that left a woman dead and a man hospitalized. Police sources say the victims may have been targeted. CBS 2's John Diaz spoke with people who heard the commotion, and his video you'll only see here on 2.
Exclusive video shows the intense moments before a deadly shooting in Richmond Hill, Queens, just before midnight Tuesday. You can watch as 2 people wearing hoods which conceal their faces casually walk across Liberty Avenue by 127th Street, while a third paces along the sidewalk. The 3 then quickly whip out guns and start shooting into a parked car. We are freezing the video before that happens.
How many gunshots do you think you heard?
A lot, like 20-something.
This man says the overwhelming number of gunshots he heard had him thinking someone was using a military rifle.
It's like semi-automatic. It's go bang, bang, and then, bang, 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 bang.
Police say 28-year-old Clarissa Burgos of Brooklyn was fatally shot in the head, while they say the 39-year-old man driving the car was shot multiple times in his chest. Video shows him driving frantically away from the scene right after. Police say he drove 2 miles to the 103rd Police Precinct in Jamaica to get help. He was then rushed to the hospital. We are told he is expected to survive.
That's crazy to hear. That's not right. It makes me feel scared.
This man just moved down the street last year, hoping police catch whoever is responsible.
That's not nice. That's not nice. It's not happy at all.
And authorities tell us they're still trying to figure out a motive behind this homicide.
Again, with that nightmare in Brooklyn. No other way to describe it. New York cops now looking for the 2 evildoers who broke into a home, and the woman who was there was raped.
Now, police say this happened on Saturday. Investigators released these photos of the pair, both still on the run.
Eyewitness News reporter Lindsay Tuckman live in Sunset Park tonight. Lindsay.
Bill, Sandra, a really, really horrible story. And for women who live in this community, it's a particularly frightening one to hear. Police have released surveillance video of the 2 men that are still on the run. They are still looking for. Police say the 2 men forced their way into a 49-year-old woman's apartment, and then one of them raped her before the 2 of them both then ran away. It happened Saturday around 6 p.m. near the busy areas here of 8th Avenue and Fort Hamilton Parkway in Sunset Park. Now, according to NYPD crime statistics, while incidents of rape are down citywide this year compared to last, this neighborhood within the 66th precinct, actually rapes are slightly up, 22 this year compared to 20 this time last year. So we asked women who live in the area their thoughts on this latest incident.
It's not really normal around here, so yeah, it's made me very nervous.
It's unexpected. I didn't know that people would do that, especially around here.
at night, like after 5 p.m. It's at night, so I think no go out.
Now, police do say that the woman was brought to the hospital where she was treated and then released. NYPD is asking anyone if they've seen those.
Of this family tragedy leaving a building in the Bronx shaken as they prepare for what's supposed to be a time of joy. This crime unfolding inside an apartment on Creston Avenue in Bedford Park. Police say that suspect was emotionally disturbed and slashed 2 family members. When officers arrived, they say he was holding his mother at knife point. And after police say they told him multiple times to put that weapon down, they say the man was shot in the head by police. News Force Jessica Cunnington live in Bedford Park with more on this holiday tragedy. Jess.
And Adam, police are still investigating what triggered all of this today, but police did shoot and kill this 30-year-old man after they say he was holding a knife to his mother's throat. And they say he also told family members that he was going to kill them and himself. A mother with her head bandaged up and wheeled into an ambulance crying out, "My son tried to kill me." A Bronx family's 911 call this morning leading to chaotic and intense moments inside their apartment.
Today was a complete tragedy during this holiday season.
When officers got to the 13th floor of 2865 Creston Avenue in Bedford Park, police say a 19-year-old woman came screaming out of the apartment with a slice wound on her face. When the 2 young officers went inside the apartment, in a small space, police say about 5 feet away was the 30-year-old man holding his mom and a knife.
Our subject holding his mother in a front headlock with a large carving knife to her throat, and she was clearly injured and bleeding from her area. Our officers gave numerous commands to drop the knife. However, our officer discharged his firearm, striking the subject in the head.
When they brought the guy out on the stretcher, they was doing CPR on him.
Police say the man was pronounced dead at the hospital. They believe he slashed his 46-year-old mother and the 19-year-old woman before they arrived. Cops describing him as emotionally disturbed.
The subject told his family member he was going to kill his family and kill him. Thank God our cops got here quickly and saved this family from further harm.
Neighbors on this block horrified to hear what happened today. They say they're used to seeing emergency crews at that building. And this time of year, tough for so many people.
This is a time when people are more depressed. Christmas, New Year's, and so you have a lot of people in here that have mixed issues going on.
First at 11 o'clock, we're following a developing story. Late details coming out in court in Manhattan for the man charged with attacking 2 teenage sisters at Grand Central Terminal. This as they were visiting New York City. And we're now learning just how seriously hurt one sister is. Eyewitness News reporter Sonia Rincon here now with the new information. Sonia.
Well, Bill, we're learning more about that suspect's violent past, which included 17 prior arrests and a lot of erratic behavior. The NYPD considered him to be emotionally disturbed. Tonight at Manhattan Criminal Court, 36-year-old Stephen Hutcherson of the Bronx was charged with attempted murder as a hate crime, 2 counts. For the 2 teenage tourists from Paraguay, he's accused of stabbing at the Grand Central Terminal food court. Hate crimes because he was heard saying, "I want all the white people dead." He also faces multiple counts of assault as a hate crime and endangering the welfare of a child. Court documents say he pulled out a knife and stabbed a 16-year-old girl in the back as she was sitting with her family at Tartinery on Christmas Day, and then stabbed her 14-year-old sister in the leg. Hutcherson had that long history of arrests, the latest just last month for threatening someone with a knife for which he pleaded guilty, and he was apparently living inside Grand Central Terminal. Mayor Adams today pointed to a drop in subway crime, saying he continues to prioritize removing the mentally ill from the transit system.
Anytime you have incidents in these high-profile locations, it sends the feeling of, people don't feel safe, and that's why we have to make sure we, zero in, make the arrests as soon as possible, and make sure we get those repeated offenders off our streets.
The 2 teen sisters from Paraguay who were here in town for the holidays with their family are still recovering at Bellevue Hospital tonight. The 16-year-old is being treated for a collapsed lung. Bill?
All right.
3-year-old mother of 2 is dead after being shot by her own brother on Christmas Eve. Abrielle Baldwin was trying to break up an argument between her siblings when one of them pulled out a gun. Fox 13's Evan Axelbank reports on what has the sheriff furious and the changes he is now calling for.
Photos Abrielle Baldwin posted to social media show her filled with joy.
She's just a woman going about life, doing her thing with her 2 kids, trying to make a living, trying to make it.
On Christmas Eve, while at her grandmother's home on 22nd Avenue in Largo, she'd had enough of her brothers bickering. DeMarcus and Darcus began pulling guns on one another.
Abrielle told DeMarcus, quote, "You all need to leave that stuff alone. Why are you trying to start it? It's Christmas."
They both had been fighting over Christmas presents, with the 15-year-old Darcus jealous that their mom had spent more on gifts for 14-year-old DeMarcus. After Abrielle stepped in, DeMarcus pulled a gun and fired, killing her and sending her son and his nephew, an 11-month-old, falling to the ground. Then Darcus pulled his own gun and shot DeMarcus, leaving him badly injured.
This proliferation of guns on the streets and guns in this area and guns in the hands of these kids, this is the worst I've ever seen it. I don't think we've ever seen it this bad.
The sheriff says the area around 22nd Avenue in Largo has been subject to extra patrols lately, with 13 gun-related incidents since September. He says his office has gotten reports of 17 guns stolen from unlocked cars. He suspects the guns used in this shooting were obtained that way.
And people can't leave their car doors unlocked and leave their guns in their cars. It's got to stop.
Further, the sheriff says both juveniles have been let off the hook too easily by the juvenile justice system, particularly DeMarcus, who has a history of violence against school staff and law enforcement. The sheriff is calling for tougher laws.
They are not getting the consequences that they should get that keep them from doing it again and again and again.
Abrielle was only 23, and now her kids, an 11-month-old and a 6-year-old, will have to grow up without her. Evan Axelbank, Fox 13 News.
Teen pregnant teenager is over. The girl and her boyfriend both found dead. A major development and a growing mystery when it comes to what police will reveal. ABC's Andrea Fuji has the story.
What appears to be a tragic update in the search for a pregnant woman in Texas. The family of 18-year-old Savannah Soto says she and her boyfriend, Matthew Guerra, were found dead yesterday in a car outside a San Antonio apartment complex, 3 miles from Soto's home. But police are not yet confirming the identities of the victims.
It appears to be a very complex crime scene.
Soto, last seen near her home Friday, was 9 months pregnant and 1 week past her due date. Her family says she was scheduled to be induced at the hospital Saturday, but never showed up.
When I called her all morning, she wasn't answering. It was going straight to voicemail. And we went to the hospital anyways, and she was a no-show. And that's when I called the cops. She was so excited to have this baby. I mean, the house is already baby ready. She was so excited. She was going to be a mommy.
Officials releasing few details, also not confirming how the victims died.
But what we're looking at right now is a very, very perplexing crime scene. And detectives right now are looking at this as a possible murder. But we don't know for sure.
Officials did say the bodies appear to have been inside the car for 3 to 4 days. According to court documents, Guerra was on probation for allegedly assaulting Soto on Christmas Day last year.
I wasn't fond of him because of when he put hands on my daughter.
The family is familiar with heartache. Soto's younger brother died in a shooting last year.